Mental about your garden. Are you mental about our garden? Mental garden. Mental garden. Mental garden. Mental garden. Garden. Mental garden. Mental.
Mental. Better. All right. Hey, y'all. I'm Brock
I'm V from Mental
from
Gardens.
Mental Gardens. We're here today at Masisi Radio to kind of chat a little bit with y'all and get a little insight to our world.
Yes, I'm so excited. I feel like I've kind of been living in the shadows for a really long time. I started doing Mental Gardens when I was 15, 16. I'm 27 now. My birthday was October 3rd. Shout out to Libras.
Happy
Libras
belated.
still young.
Happy belated.
So yeah, it's so fun to have a platform to share like almost a decade worth of just crazy experiences. I have so much to talk about, so much lore.
So yeah, you said you started around when you were 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in high school, and at that point, I had already been working since I was like 13, 14, and I don't know what it was. I was already over it. Like, I felt like I was hitting a midlife crisis. I remember conversations I had with my friends at the time, being like, Shorty, I cannot do this. And I remember talking to my mom, and she would be like, well, what do you like to do? Just start there. What makes you happy? What can you get lost in? And so I went into my room and I looked around and it was nothing but art. Like I used to, at the time, I was painting, I was sculpting.
Okay.
I've always loved mixed media.
Mixed media.
So I remember I used to do a lot of my artwork were like on my walls. So I used to like put clay on the walls, have like sculptures coming out. I used to glue shoes on it,
That's
paint on it.
crazy.
Yeah. And so I remember looking around and being like, okay, clearly I can get lost in this art shit for hours. So how can I do it? How can I make it work? And I remember thinking, well, I like painting, but I don't think people are gonna buy paintings for real. And I'm not even in that world. I just
Yeah.
always felt like I was never part of that kind. I've always felt like art was very elitist.
Okay.
And I feel like that's something you're kind of
Yeah.
born into. I didn't have that, so I was like, the painting, out the window.
Yeah.
Sculptures
Well,
are
it's
big and
time-consuming,
heavy.
yeah.
Time-consuming, big and heavy.
Too much space.
And so I came up with jewelry as a practical way of making art and being able to sell it. Like jewelry, it wasn't like, oh, I just loved jewelry. I did love jewelry. I used to wear a lot of jewelry. I used to wear like bracelets up to here, rings on every
so you're
finger.
one of those girls.
Yes,
Okay.
a freak. Okay.
Watch out for her. She be
That's
stealing silly bands.
She's selling silly bands. So yeah, I came up with jewelry as a practical solution to wanting to make things, but they couldn't be too big, and they had to be at a price point that I thought was affordable,
What was
which
most
at the time was
practical?
$8.
Period.
I have Etsy links.
And look
$8.
at us now. Wait, what was the $8 ring? It was a
No,
ring?
it was like necklaces and
Okay,
bracelets.
cute.
And I remember at the time being like $8. Shit, let me put free shipping because that's a lot. And I'm so proud to have
That's
slowly.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you were starting to do markets. So like, what was your first time like actually going out and selling?
Oh, my first market was incredibly special. I was 17 years old. I don't know how. I think somebody at school, I was at Western High School at the time, and somebody was like, oh, Young at Art Museum is having a kids market, which at the time I'm like, that's kind of crazy because kids and exchange of money is usually not a thing, but they were hosting a market for kids between like 12 and 17, and so I applied, I got in. And I brought in my little cousin, Sasha, and my little cousin, Jaslyn.
Cute.
At the time, Sasha was like 8 or maybe 10. Jaslyn must have been like 8. They were little. I don't really like counting money and stuff. So I remember looking at Sasha and being like, babe, I'm going to let you handle all the money, and I'll just handle the
Give
selling.
her task, make her feel a part of it for sure.
Yeah, and I wanted to show, I was just so proud to show my little cousins, like, look, there's other ways of being able to survive in this world that doesn't include just like going to school and getting a job for somebody else.
Yeah.
And that was like my first moment being able to physically show them, not just talk to them about it. And so we spent the whole day out there. It was so special. I remember I didn't even have a setup, like a booth setup. All I had was my jewelry.
I love
and so I remember
it.
I got there and I was like, ooh. And I looked around and I was like, wait. And I pulled plants from this tree, big plants, these big leaves. And I laid them out on the table, and I laid the jewelry out on the plants. Yeah, and so at the end of the day, me and Sasha, we go into our little lockbox. I'm happy. I'm on cloud 9.
Yeah,
this is
just
the
proud of
first time
yourself.
I've ever exposed my work. People are gagged. They're like, I've never seen something like this before. I was super excited. Me and Sasha, Sasha counted the money.
Yeah, she was the money counter.
And she said, Vane, you will not believe this. We made $800 that day.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, but for me, I was like a millionaire. I literally felt untouchable. At that time, I was like, what, $800? I don't even know how I even made that much money because I know my prices weren't that high. But I'm an only child, y'all, so I always had a lot of time on my hands. And
So
my
you had
mom,
a lot of stuff.
yeah, my mom was kind of strict too, so I was just always at home in my own world. So I'm sure I had a lot of inventory. But that was my first ever market at Young at Arts Museum in Davie. Shout out to them. I would
yeah.
love to do something with them
Yeah,
eventually.
that would actually be
'cause
kind of iconic.
no, that gave
A
me the
full circle
confidence.
moment. No, totally.
To this day, when I'm feeling insecure about taking a risk, I'm like, no. It paid off for me at that time, so I always hold on to that memory. So that was my first market, and I used that money to pay for a metalsmithing class. Because at the time, I was only wire wrapping.
Okay.
But you know, it's something Aquarian about me that was like, I can't do the same thing as everybody else. And everybody,
different.
and everybody was wire wrapping.
Yeah.
Because it's a good intro.
Yeah, it's a good intro. Yeah, no, for sure. I was wire wrapping at one point too.
Okay.
Can't even lie.
The crafty girls get it. So I used that money and I went to Boca Arts Museum and got my first metalsmithing course. And the rest was history. I
Yeah,
didn't pay for
literally.
any other schooling until 2022.
She's homegrown.
She's homegrown.
Self-taught, pretty and paid. Hair's laid. Yeah, no, of course. So we were talking about risk a little bit. So what was like your most recent risk that you felt like you took on the business?
My most recent risk was letting Brock fly out to Chicago
Ooh.
to do a whole market on their own. That was a big ass risk. And you know, I take care of my girls.
Okay.
So she was good.
I'm
she was
also
fed.
pretty and paid.
Yeah.
I was fed. I had the company card. I had my little scooter with the MG logo on it.
Okay. But I was just exhausted. Like I've
Yeah.
reached the point. I started doing this full time in 2020.
So that's been years.
And it's been almost 5 years now. And so I reached the point this year where I was like, oh my God, like I need help. If I want to grow, I can stay where I'm at and be comfortable,
Yeah.
but I want more. Like I want more. So yeah, letting you just kind of take over was a lot because those markets are a big investment already.
Yeah.
And that's without the plane ticket, the
Where
expenses.
to stay, yeah, food, all that.
Making sure I have stock for those big markets. But it paid off, and I was so happy.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I had a time. I love Chicago.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chicago.
Shout out to Chicago. I love you.
We'll see y'all for sure soon.
I have a bit of lore with Chicago. Chicago was the first out-of-state market I did.
So yeah, really shout out to Chicago.
Yeah, really shout out to Chicago. I remember in 2021, I was in South Florida doing 3 to 4 markets every single weekend, like on rotate. I would go to one in the morning, leave, and then go to the ones at night. I would set up at parties. I would set up wherever. Sometimes I would even set up at the park. It didn't matter.
Okay.
This is what I'm doing full time. I gotta make it work,
Yeah,
right?
no, literally.
So by the end of 2021, I remember, no shade to Hollywood Art Walk. Ooh, we get a little messy on Mental Gardens, just so y'all know. But I remember, bro, I was doing a market there, and I was like, this can't be my life.
It was crickets.
It gave cricket, not too much because I love, you know what I mean?
We love
but
everybody, you
it
know.
was just like, that's not really what I wanted to be doing when I saw myself
just saw
in
more
10
for
years. I
yourself.
wanted more.
Yeah.
So I applied to a big market here in Miami called Makers Market. And that one was really good. It was the first market that I was like, wow, this is new money. And they travel out of state. So I did the one in Miami, it was great. Then I did the one in Jacksonville because it was like a little further out. And that one was good too. And so I was like, okay, let me check out Chicago. All the people at the market were like, yo, Chicago's so good, Chicago's so good. It was an insane investment for me at the time. But at this point, if I wanted more, I had to do more.
Yeah,
and
put
so,
yourself out there.
So I flew out to Chicago, and it was great. Chicago's always shown love. Chicago gave me the confidence to then go to New York, to then go to LA, and eventually to then go to Europe.
Yeah.
Because I was
Oh,
like,
Europe.
no, Chicago showed a lot of love, and every time I go to Chicago, it's always a key.
Yeah, and
so.
it's a nice coincidence that the first risk of you doing it yourself was also the most recent one with me doing it. So I was like, yeah, Chicago definitely has a little special spot in the MG world.
Yeah, I have some chemistry with that city. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking about Europe, we did recently have a little Europe tour, a little trip to Europe. We saw parts of London and Berlin. So what was your biggest takeaway, I guess, from the whole experience?
To just continue to be hungry
Yeah.
and like take those risks, because when we went to Europe, we didn't have like a market or anything set up where I was like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go here and I'm gonna make some money. It was just to see the vibes. Again, when I went to Chicago, I've gone to Chicago now so many times. I know I got good chemistry with Chicago. I got good chemistry with New York. LA, it's a hit or miss. So I'm at a
Seattle's cute,
point,
too.
I have really good chemistry with Seattle. So I kind of realized last year, okay, sometimes all it takes is for you to just step into the city. And you get to see how people perceive you and receive you.
Yeah.
And doors will open themselves. You don't always need to have a motive. Just go and exist and take up space.
Yeah.
And so that
You don't gotta
was
do too much.
you don't gotta do too much.
Yeah.
So that was my goal with Europe, and it was, I mean, I can't even. I remember we landed in London, and a videographer, shout out Princey, hit me up. He's not even from London. That man live in Nevada. And he was like, I'm in London right now. I see you in London. Let's shoot. Period. I took his impression. I don't even know how, because I didn't have any materials. I ended up finding out somebody that could. It was so much magic.
Yeah, no, all the magic.
So much magic. And I liked London. It was cute. I really want to go to Bristol next. But for me, I really felt a lot of chemistry with Berlin.
Yeah,
I want to
Berlin.
keep going back.
So beautiful. More from Berlin. More of those. What is it, like the northern, eastern side, like
North-
Amsterdam, like all those types of countries.
Anyways.
You know, the geography. So yeah, I guess since being back, what has been we could talk more about the grills actually, you know, so from jewelry stem the grills, and that's been kind of like what's been our big moment, you know, your big focus as of right now. So yeah, maybe talk a little bit about how you got into that.
Yeah, so I have been wanting to do grills, but like I mentioned, I invested the course in the metalsmithing class when I was like 17, 18. And then I didn't spend any money on schooling until like 2021. And that was strategic because I really wanted to I don't know, I felt like it was just too much money to spend on just learning something.
Yeah.
At the time, I still felt like, oh, I can teach myself things.
Yeah.
And
That's probably what made you kind of stray away from traditional schooling also anyway.
no, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And the grills, it was just too complex for me to figure it out on my own. So I remember I took a stone setting course, and that was great. It opened my world. It reminded me how important it is actually to pursue education. It changed my perspective. I came from a place where I was like, fuck school, it doesn't matter, to wait. I'm in control now. Nobody's telling me what to do.
Yeah.
I get to learn what I want at my pace
Yeah.
and take what I really want. And so I invested the money in the stone setting class. It was great. I felt fulfilled. And then I took the grills making course
Yes.
here on University in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, which is so crazy.
Shout out Broward.
No, literally, so
And
local.
yeah, and it was like I met one of my close friends in the industry. Shout out to Consensus, a beer. I love you.
We love a beer.
She flew down from New York, and it was just me and her and a couple of boys, and we just clicked right away. And that was a journey, though, because even though my first grills I still wear to this day, it took me a year of making grills consecutively before they even started fitting. So I ended up taking another course in New York with a jeweler that I had, oh my God, like idolized. Shout out to Aziza Handcrafted. I loved her. I had been watching her thing since I was like, yeah, like 19, 20. And it's just this dope chick from Brooklyn making amazing jewelry. I loved her energy. Definitely somebody that always inspired me. And then I saw she had put up a thing. Meanwhile, all the grills I'm making are not fitting. It's driving me insane.
Yeah, you're like, what's going on? What am I not
I'm putting in
getting?
so much money. It's hundreds of dollars at a time. Every time I make new designs and I have to get them in metal. And nothing is fitting. At some point, like, it was just really stressful. So I was like, okay, let me go book this class with her. And so, yeah, I flew to New York, took another class, got to meet her. It was spiritual. I got back home. The grills still weren't fitting.
No.
I was about to give up.
Yeah.
I was about to give up.
Like, that was your rock bottom.
Yes. I was like, clearly it's just not meant to be. I don't know what's going on. And then I remember, like, looking in the mirror and being like, you are not no weak pussy little bitch. And it's time. You want to grow, there's going to be a big challenge. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the slingshot.
No, literally.
So I kind of like changed my mindset and I was like, no. If this is really freaking hard, that means that when I get it, big things are going to happen. And so I changed my schedule around. During the day, I was working the business, making the jewelry. And then at night, I would just practice for hours on end. Hours on end, literally until 4 or 5 in the morning. And then I remember in August, I went to New York. August, maybe last year or a year and a half ago. And I made a whole set for these new friends I had just made.
Okay.
And they all fit. Oh my God. It was like, I don't know, feeling Midas touch. Like, wow, okay, I finally got it.
No, literally.
And the rest is history. Since then, I've been promoting them, and it's been nonstop.
Love it. Love it. All right, we're going to take a little break and get into some tunes and some
I
music.
love dance break.
You know,
Let's sweat.
music
Some
definitely,
aerobics.
inspires the mental garden world. So
Down.
here's some of the tunes that we might be listening to while we're creating. Testing. Hey, y'all. So the stream we have here is a little buffery, but we are going to record this and then upload it for y'all on YouTube. So we'll see y'all then.
On two kinds of potential. Plus new ice house to sweat your warm. 1, 2, I'm Count Contessa. Yup, boo, I'm house princessa. Come to my town to get ya. Come to ice house to get ya. Coin hustle, I'm proud professor. Muscle, I'm high adapter. And in time I suggest ya learn to like house princessa. 1, 1, 2, I styles the best. Until I'm comp perfecta. Just new ice styles contessa. 1, 2, my sound will get ya own. Yup, boo, my styles will test ya. Come to ice house, so wreck ya. I'm 2 kinds of potential. Plus new ice house to sweat your warm. 1, 2, I'm Count Contessa. Yup, boo, I'm house princessa. Come to my town to get ya. Come to ice house to get ya. Coin hustle, I'm proud professor. Muscle, I'm high adapter. And in time I suggest ya learn to like house princessa. 1, 1, 2, I style the best. Until I'm come perfecta. Just new ice house contessa. 1, 2, my sound will get ya own. Yup, boo, my style will test ya. Come to ice house, so wreck ya. And if I shall select ya, muscle might can't detect the storm. Yup, boo, I'm out to get ya. Muscle might can't protect ya. And if I shall select ya, muscle might can't detect the storm. Yup, boo, I'm out to get ya. Muscle might can't protect 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 ya. And they'll agree, Miss Crystal Panty, little beans, the potential candy. Santa the sea, so central and free from Milan to Japan with Miss Romancy. If you can't dance and if you can't sing, put your hands in the air about your dancing. Stand to the beat, present your campaign, do your dance to the beat with little B&B. Hey! 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 And they'll agree, Miss Crystal Panty, little beans, the potential candy. Stand to the sea, so central and free from Milan to Japan with Miss Romancy. If you can't dance and if you can't sing, put your hands in the air about your fancy. Stand to the beat, present your campaign, do your dance to the beat with little B&B. And they'll agree, Miss Crystal Panty, little beans, the potential candy. Stand to the sea, so central and free from Milan to Japan with Miss Romancy. If you can't dance and if you can't sing, put your hands in the air about your fancy. Stand to the beat, present your campaign.
Gonna go with a stank attitude. This the thirst quench your lips on the boots. Tell me how you trying to get all the goods with no juice. Diva, puffin' sativa, full grown a bad bitch a keeper. Dark skin a savage a reaper. This is my house that's worth to Latifah. Hit the double take, I've been great, it's still cakes. This problem ain't you been late. No phonies, no bites, no fakes. I'ma blow a kiss to these hoes, fuck a handshake. Shorty been the truth, it's me with this scoop. I'm a real thoroughbred, tick tick with the boom. All these scallywags and drags want the loot. Recognize a Don Dada when you hear one in the booth. I would never fuck you, little kid and keep it cute. The alley cat is in a room. Trade around my way for and whip me off the stoop. Now he knocking off a zoom, skinny zipping in a poop. Ooh, lifesaver, hey, what's your flavor? Got a taser that cut like a razor. This a kiss of death, a tongue you will savor. Moving so precise like they hands on Malaysia. Dripping any weather you host, far from cover. This a full on vendetta, crumple the leather. Pick your rhyme schemes, they not mean I've been better. Both open the marshmallows and goose feathers. My spot can't fill my quota. Pop my shit from off the sofa. All you dick riders on my body like vultures. You did it for the clout, I did it for the culture. Get pipe, put the corner to the plumber. Inches from an 8, that's worth the bucks gutter. Only say a bunch of bad bitch never stutter. I don't play with little kids, little nigga, get your mother. Got no time for subs, got no time for wasting. Heard you got the virus, no time for tasting. Chillin' in my crock pot, more room for basting. We're such a bad bitch if you don't know my reputation. Tryna run amok, tight pussy in the summer. Gotta keep it real so you never gotta wonder. Do it like Kim, jump off from a Hummer. Don't confuse me with no others cause I'm all about my numbers. Yeah, check, good job, stay wet, good shit, check, that's the fucking
This one thing that got me tripping, it is. This one thing is all they feeling. It's this I do what I wanna do when I wanna do it. Check out the past to prove it. Hips to the ground and make shapes, yes. Trim the waist off and the waist down, don't let slip off. That's French tips, not on the tip. Do you wanna taste? I don't give a fuck what you think. You don't know me. You might own me. But bitch, you'll never know me. Ask me how I got here. Bitch, I work hard. Ask me about my luck. Yeah, I've been lucky. Man, I've been unlucky. It's both. Don't put your shit on me. Bitch, I'm special. You can't tell me otherwise. Better be alive.
That'll be a lie.
I don't give a fuck what you think. You don't know me. I don't give a fuck what you think. You don't know me. I don't give a fuck what you think. You don't know me. Fuck what you think. You don't know me.
That's how I deal with the hate comments.
I don't give a fuck, don't know me.
I give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck, don't know me. 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 You might own me, but bitch, you'll never know me. You might own me, but bitch, you'll You might own me, but bitch, you'll never know me. You might own me, but bitch, you'll never know me. Who do you think I am?
tuned in.
I get sprayed. I get sprayed. I get sprayed. I get sprayed.
Memento Gardens house, baby.
I get paid.
I get crazy. I get mental about my garden. I get mental about my garden. Mental gardens, yeah, mental gardens. Mental gardens, yeah, mental gardens. Mental gardens, yeah, mental gardens.
Gardens, yeah, mental gardens. Are you mental about your garden?
I'm mental about my garden.
Are you mental about your garden?
I'm mental about my garden.
My garden.
I'm mental about my garden. Hate that.
Time now to step back in to some more Q&As.
Till next time.
Cuntly, get it, Cuntly. Shout out.
Cuntly, get it, Cuntly.
Shout out.
Hey.
Shout out, Cuntly.
Thank
One time bringing the
you.
vibes. And let me tell you, it's the same fucking thing when we're at the house, just
Yeah.
making stuff. Racky will pull up too with their decks, and it is just a
Shout
whole
out to
vibe.
Racky.
Yeah.
That's
Shout out
our
DJ
sister.
Racky.
Capricorn
Okay.
season coming. Watch out for her.
Watch out.
Watch out for her. Capricorn season around the corner.
Oh, shit.
All right, so yeah, let's get back into it. So
Yeah.
now we have our friend Racky here. So let's talk about friends. Like I feel like friends and family, like there's a lot of support that you have around you. Let's give them a little insight on how we met.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I think that's
the
a crazy
way,
story.
No, the way me and Brock met was honestly something out of a movie. So picture this. It's 2020. I had just moved back from living abroad. It was my first time saving enough money to say, okay, I'm going to do this full time. 6 months are in. I'm actually having some pretty good luck. I'm
Yeah.
a little bit like, I'm more equipped than I thought.
Uh-huh.
And then I start seeing charges like on Etsy for like $100, $200, $150, $80, almost every week.
I had it like that. Shout out to
Then-
Chewy.
Shout out to you,
Chewy,
I
you
guess.
know,
You
my-
help fund Mental Gardens.
Thank
Chewy
you.
help fund Mental Gardens, y'all.
Okay, they chewed that.
They chewed that. But, and then I look at the address. I see Plantation. I said, hold up. This person is right by my house.
No, literally around the
so
corner.
I put just that much more effort into the packaging. I literally drew
It
you
was
like
so
custom
sweet, and I
Mental
have
Garden
them.
stuff.
I have all the
with
little
long
drawings,
notes.
the little notes.
Yeah, I was
like-
so grateful.
Yeah.
This is my first year in business. And I have supporters, people that love my work like Brock that don't know me at all.
Yeah, did not
They're
go to
just
school
looking
together.
at the work.
We had no friends that were like
Not
mutuals,
nobody
really,
in
like,
common.
no.
Nobody.
You randomly popped up, I think, one time because you were doing like ads, I guess. So like a random like Instagram ad popped up for your Etsy shop, and I was like, yo, like this is so cool. Like yeah, and I love wearing adornments, jewelry, necklaces, anything. And yeah, being an Earth hoe, you know, a hotep. So I was like, oh, this
Yes.
is like some like fairy drip I've never
Yes.
seen before. All like, you know, like shout out to Mental Garden.
Yeah, so I'm seeing these large quantities come in, these big orders, and I decide to just make them something custom and drop it off at their house. You weren't available. I wanted to
Yeah.
drop it off to you to
I was
meet you and
working.
thank you. But I was able to drop it off the house. I think we did that about 3 times.
Yeah.
And then I did this one like campaign, I guess you can call it. At the time, I was doing drops every month because I had time
Yeah.
like that. So every month it was like a new little collection. Unfortunately, I'm not at the place where I can do that right now. I want to get back to that. However,
That was fun. I used to
it
be
was.
on the lookout. Like
It was
I
fun.
was on the
I
lookout
loved
whenever
it.
you had a new drop.
To just see all these pieces take
Uh-huh.
form and like, anyways. So I did this whole collection inspired by Aquemini, by Outkast,
Uh-huh.
and we recreated the photo because at the time, with every month was like new postcards.
Yeah.
And so the postcard would be a drawing that I would make or that a friend would make. That's another way. I've always tried to include my friends in the stuff that I do.
There's always community behind
No,
it.
no, no. I always, because I felt like was very alone for most of the
Yeah.
ride. So anytime I see somebody just that wants it, I'm like, just pull up, like hop on. But yeah, and so for the Aquemini
So you invited
collection,
me. Yeah, you invited me for
I
the
invited
shoot.
Brock for the photo shoot, and I was under 3,000, and you were
Uh-huh.
big boy.
I was big boy.
And so I was sitting
Never
on
the
the
little
chair.
one.
Yeah.
Never the little
and you were
one.
next to me.
Uh-huh.
And to this day, no shade. I don't really talk to anybody else in that photo except for Brock.
Okay.
I
you see
don't.
where I'm at.
Okay.
We was
yeah.
right next to each other. Oh.
So yeah, that's how we met. We met through Etsy.
Yeah, no, literally. And then for a little bit, we didn't talk too much. We were both in like little relationships. We were in our own little world.
For
and
the
then
birds.
we came back after it, and we were like, wait, we don't even need all this.
No, we really don't.
We got each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, the rest really was history.
And
on that too.
we reconnected again because we knew each other.
Yeah.
And then maybe 2 years went by, and we were just like friends on Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
We'd like, I would buy plants from
We
you.
were
You
oomps.
started Mental Gardens.
I started Broccoli Garden.
Sorry, Broccoli
based
Gardens.
on Mental Gardens because I was so inspired by her. Like, I've never seen nobody at my age and in my area just like take the world and make it their own the way you did. So I was like, wait, like I could literally do this in my own realm of plants. Like, why don't I just incorporate all this inspiration that I'm getting from you and just do it in my own little world? And then yeah, I've been doing that for like 5 years now.
Yeah.
And doing markets, and then just we've also been collaborating on tables, and I feel like the plants and the rings really complement each other and really
Totally.
immerse you in that whole world.
Mm-hmm.
We have all these beautiful plants behind us that, you know, just also help. We love the garden.
We
like,
love the garden.
any type of garden, like
Yeah,
I'm
so
here.
I bought a couple plants from you.
Uh-huh.
We would see each other, but it wasn't super consistent until our love for music.
Yeah.
So we went to Shy
So
Girl.
Shy Girl. Shout out to Shy Girl.
Shout out to Shy Girl. Shy
Fucking
Girl just
love-
follow me on Instagram. Y'all. I'm acting up about that. I'm acting up about that. I sent her a little DM, but she took me back, but that's
Is she from
fine.
Bristol? Shout out to Bristol.
She's from London, but she went to Bristol.
She
That's
went
where
to
she got
Bristol.
started.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I study
No,
the
we
people I
love
love.
Shy Girl.
Yeah. So we went to see a Shy Girl
We
concert,
did.
and it really reignited that like
Yeah.
chemistry we had. I was like,
Uh-huh.
wait, because we went with a group. Everybody was damn bored doing nothing on the wall. I'm like,
Literally.
it's Shy Girl.
A bunch
Please.
of flies.
You don't have to go crazy, but
And it
feel
was at the
yourself.
ground. It was at
Yeah,
the
it
ground
was
here in
so
Miami.
sexy.
It was so close and intimate. Like Shy Girl was right there.
Right there.
And it was,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was a key.
And so as usual, it was me and Brock kind of like catching a vibe. And then I
know.
was like, wait.
Being the life of the party.
And then after that, we like kept in
We kinda
touch.
kept in touch
But
a
a
little bit
couple
more.
months after, we went to go see 6X.
Yeah.
And that's what solidified
Yeah.
it. Shout out Perreo.
Perreo.
Shout out 6X.
That was her first time here in the States too.
Okay,
I felt
shout
like
out
that was,
immigration.
oop.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
That just caught me off guard, but work.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
no,
work travel
literally.
visa. Okay,
Just
that's
like,
how I'm
girl.
here.
No, literally.
So,
Shout out, bitch. You gotta get a job, work, do something.
do something.
Get
Get a job
challenge.
Do what you want challenge. Save your money challenge.
You
Stack your
know,
coin challenge.
Don't bend to capitalism, y'all.
Don't. So yeah, we went 6X, and then that's where like
We went
I
to the
met
afters.
Raki.
We
Yeah,
were
the
at
afters
Raki.
for Javi's birthday. Shout out Javi.
Shout out Javi. We met Sunny and Rash. Like,
Yeah. My friends definitely fuel my creativity. I love seeing y'all just literally exist and take up space. And as I'm looking at y'all, I'm like, wow, like this would look so good on them. That would look so. Yeah, I want to adorn the people around me.
yeah.
And yeah, y'all hype me up and make me feel very special. That's something that's very needed when you are working for yourself. You're making stuff
Yeah.
that is like
You're in your own world
different.
a lot of times.
You're not making things that are like super mainstream, so you can get clowned for the stuff that you're making. You really need those people around you. That we are back.
We're back, y'all. Mental Gardens at Masisi Radio. Sounds by Cuntley.
Okay.
Stories by V. All right, so where were we?
I think I was talking about how my mom gave me the support that I needed
Yeah.
to really have the confidence to do what I'm doing now. Because I feel like it takes, if you have somebody around you constantly telling you you can't do something, it either takes just that much more self-love and like effort to be like no, or it shapes you. So I always had my mom there to kind of breathe life into me. And I dropped out of high school to do Mental Gardens. So it was my junior year. I started Mental Gardens my sophomore year. And then by my junior year, it was like, this school shit is not for me. But I know that the jewelry, because mind you, I did that market. And I made $800 that market. So I was
Yeah.
like, wait, I think I could do this. So
Just showing up with some plants on a table.
yeah, so I talked to my mom and convinced her to let me drop out of traditional school to go to, I don't don't even know what those schools are. Those are alternative
trade
schools.
school.
No,
Ooh,
those
trade.
alternative schools for like bad kids.
Oh, that's where you want to do to go?
Yes, where like they're about to drop out, like
Oh,
they
so you
can't, they
saved
need to
their
make up their
credits real
credits.
quick?
Yeah. And
I
so
had to go
the
there once.
school, no, you didn't.
I did.
For what?
I got into a fight.
So they put you in there for
Uh-huh.
safety. You had to walk through the damn metal
Uh-huh.
detector and everything.
No, literally.
Brock, you're lying.
I swear on everything.
That was how bad the fight was.
I got hit with a book.
And what did you do? You hit them with a chair? Like what happened?
I don't remember. I was in the closet, so I think I was a little.
The Geminis,
Okay, but
y'all.
Anyways.
So yeah, I went to one of those schools, and it was from like 7 a.m. to 12. So I remember telling my mom, I came up with this whole like convincing argument. I was like, please let me drop out of regular school so that I can go to work, because I always had a job. So
Wake that up.
okay,
Okay,
stacking
she's
my
always-
bread.
she's always had a job.
Yeah. Because
She
I'm
ain't never-
self-funded,
it
so
ain't
that money
never
need to come from
been
somewhere.
Wait at home, lay on the bed.
So I convinced my mom. I said, let me go to school for just 3 hours. So that way I don't have to worry about homework and all that extra shit that just puts more pressure on my plate. Shit I don't care about. And so I can have more time to go to work and figure out the jewelry stuff. Because
Yeah.
remember, I had paid for the metalsmithing course. So all I needed to do now was practice. So I needed time for that. So my mom, everybody in my family was like, you're crazy, that fast-ass little girl needs to graduate, da-da-da. The only ones that really
Watch out for
supported,
her.
the only ones that supported the vision were my mom and my grandma.
The real one.
My mom was like, if that's how you feel, I'm not gonna sit here and force you, but you just have to finish. And I convinced her that I would finish faster, because it was all online. I ended up graduating like 6 or 8 months earlier than I was supposed
Period.
to, because the teacher gave me all the answers. Anyways.
Oh.
Maybe that shouldn't be on record, but I graduated.
And we got the certificate to prove
To
it.
prove it. And then, yeah, I would just go to work and practice the jewelry. My mom said yes. And my grandma was like, yeah, fuck school, actually. It's just a bunch of debt that you go into for what?
Okay.
For then you to still be at that
See?
beginning
The
position.
Geminis be knowing.
The Geminis, shout out to her. So my grandma was like, you're better off working on a trade. Like, just learn to do
Me
something
too.
and work on that. And with the support of them two, I dropped out and I committed the goals that I said, that I promised my mom. Those were the conditions. If you were gonna let me drop out of high school, I had to graduate early, and yeah, I had to maintain work, and she had to see me working on the jewelry. It wasn't like, oh yeah, no, she had to see me. And so that's when my first posts on Instagram are from that time. And I just remember that was the beginning of what felt like for me like adulthood. I was like, okay, I'm redefining the way you're pursuing education and the way you are
Like making money, sustaining your lifestyle.
taking on your career.
Yeah.
I knew life felt like so unsure, but I felt like I could trust myself more than the standards that, the world had kind of set out for people at my age at that time.
Period.
So, yeah, without the support of my mom, and then without the celebration, the joy, the fun, the excitement of my friends, I don't think, because then what? It's just me in a room all day, just like a little
playing-
elf,
yeah, no,
just
literally.
tinking and tinking at metal all day. And what? Maybe I'm engaging with everybody online. It's not the same. I needed those real life interactions. So, yeah. And when we met, I wasn't doing markets. I was just doing online because
Yeah.
thankfully I was busy enough, and so I
Yeah, you
didn't
were
have
just
to
on
do the
Etsy.
markets.
Mhm.
But over time, it did really put an emotional tax on me because I did feel so isolated. I was just doing that.
Yeah, it's like finding the balance because you don't want to be like too wrapped up in your own world to where you're like, yeah.
At the same time,
isolated.
though, I think at that time, that's what I needed. At that time, I did not need to have fun with my friends. I did not need to go out and get drunk or whatever. I needed to actually figure out what my
Like the foundation.
the foundation that
Yeah, the
of what
steps
I
next.
wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
So even though it was hard, that was kind of like my college. You know how people in college be like, "Oh
Okay.
my God, I didn't sleep, I
Yeah.
didn't eat, I did that for myself, or I felt that process of
Yeah.
growth on my own without college." But yeah.
So I mean, yeah, of course, with a lot of support that comes from like family and friends, with the fact that your jewelry and art is so unconventional, I would say. there's a lot of, I guess, hate or criticism, opinions, traditionalists, white people. So what would you say about that? I also probably want to ask you like the age-old question that people have been asking us on Instagram, but we'll ask that afterwards.
Oh God!
You know the question I'm about to ask you.
Please don't.
You want to answer it?
No.
No? Okay,
I'm good.
okay. So answer the other one. The telepathy.
Yeah, I know what you're about to ask. Please don't. When my videos started getting more popular, specifically with the grills, because I did have an era with the jewelry where I was kind of getting someplace with it online. And surprisingly, people really were not giving me hate when it came to the jewelry. Either people liked it or they just didn't pay attention to it. But I think I attribute that to the fact that the grills I make are just that much more unconventional because they're in your mouth. And when they're big, they're bulky
it's hard not
or whatever.
to see it, you know? It's right there.
The first comment I got, I remember it. It was on the Splat grill, that big orange grill. And the bottoms, those were my first bottoms that I made. And of course, they're not polished perfectly. I made them when I was still in class. So it's not a polishing class, it's a grills making class. So you
Okay.
polish it like that, thing ain't no hole in that,
literally.
and then you get on to what you're doing. And I never took the time to polish them properly afterwards. I don't care. They don't hurt. They're in my mouth. They're not scratching my gum. They're fine. So the first comment, it was surprise, surprise from a bunch of white people. It was like 3 or 4 white people basically trying to tell me like, oh, no, that bottom grill is unwearable because it's so scratched up. Surprisingly, they weren't even talking about that big-ass orange piece that was covering my whole mouth. They were talking about my bottoms, saying that, criticizing because the metal didn't reach all the way down to the gum line. There was some teeth exposed. And I didn't even go back and forth really about none of that. All I said was, look, what did I say? Can you pull up the comment?
Yeah, I might be able
We
to
got
find
the
it.
receipts.
Well, I'm like, yeah, I don't entirely remember what was said.
But I remember when I saw that at the beginning, I honestly feel like in theory, I thought I would freak out more and get more nervous. But as the comments started coming in, I just started laughing because it kind of just, I guess I'm so sure of my work, and it reminded me I'm sure of my work.
Yeah.
And if I get critiques, I love constructive criticism, even like nasty criticism, I'll take it. I want to see it. I want to see the opinions. They don't really change my self-worth or how I feel about the stuff that I make.
So yeah, I found it. So, do you want to read it?
Yeah. They said, damn, bro. You should have at least polished off those scratches before giving it to her. Mind you, her is me.
Yeah, is literally you, the creator, the founder, and the baddie.
So I said, this is my personal piece, and my aim isn't to have a perfect final product. Everything in my pieces is intentional. Y'all are just used to seeing grills made by computers. This is artisanal, not manufactured.
Okay.
And
Clock it.
yeah, that was like the first statement that I feel like I wrote on Mental Gardens, where I was just like
you addressed some shit.
really letting people know this is where I'm coming from. So you can criticize me, you can do whatever you want, but just so you know, this is the ethos. This is like I'm not aiming to be perfect.
Yeah, there's people in here trying to teach you like how to do it as if you didn't know. Like again, it's intentional, and anything in your art doesn't go without your say, you know?
Yeah, so it took just one person, and then I got a whole bunch of other jewelers from wherever the fuck also telling me like, oh, yeah, that's unprofessional. You shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, honestly, the back and forth helps the engagement. No
it really
shade.
does. And then it also shows that there was a lot more support too, because a lot of people who you may not even know are sitting here supporting you and defending you and being like, bro, like you sound corny. And they do, because you're on our page. So
I've had more egregious comments on nastier pieces that I've made, like the ant grill. The ant grill, it was nasty.
The
There's like
garden grill.
big ass ants in your mouth. I made it for that reason. And people were just going ham.
People were going crazy on Instagram, on TikTok.
Yeah, like criticizing Brock, criticizing like my mental health. And me and Brock at this point are just like we're actually kind of enjoying just the drama. Like
it's polarizing.
It is.
When
it was
you have
fun.
good art, it's polarizing. People are going to talk about it, whether it's good or bad. You're you run with it, and I feel like it's one of the lessons that one of the many lessons you've taught me.
Yeah,
It's just like taking it and just turning it in your favor.
However you want. And at the end of the day, them ant grills were the nastiest grills, whatever. People had the most to say about it. But guess who saw my work through those
your
grills?
Shit.
You know who saw my work through those grills?
Can y'all guess?
SZA reached out to me personally because
you.
she saw those grills. So it's like, yeah, you're going to have people that literally are trying to clown you in your face.
But
yes.
they don't matter. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, like I literally have the DMs. And I was like, SZA.
We love you, girl, if you're watching this.
Because she, she
her
had her whole tour and her whole shit was
about,
about
ants and bugs, yeah.
She's a bug girl. And so I was like, wow, yeah. Your work will resonate to the people that it's supposed to.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. And there's a timing to it all, so who's to say something later on the line doesn't happen, so
But, huh?
No. And
no, but that's a big deal to me. That's an established artist that's dedicated to her work. I look up to her work ethic. I look up to the way she carries herself as an artist, as a creator, as a person that also went off the regular path and really made something with her talent. Mm-hmm. That's someone I take my hat to. So yeah, you looking at my work, that is worth a lot of celebration to me because it just shows that I'm also, on my own path, and also like that person that's dedicated. And we see each other.
No, literally.
So that was sweet. So that's how I deal with hate.
Yeah,
I end up getting love. But other than that, tune in next week. There's so much freaking lore. We could go deeper into any of these topics. So let us know what you want to hear more of.
Yeah.
Shout out Cunt Lee for providing the music, the vibes. And we love y'all. Hope y'all mental about y'all garden.
See you next time. Water your plants.